Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumps back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're talking about Saint Garcia Saturn, the new Super Suko that will be arriving in about, 2 days' time over here on OPTC? Maybe 3 days' time? I actually don't really know what the date is. I think today's the 28th, today's the 29th, so yeah, 2 days' time. This man will be dropping for part 2 of the 11th anniversary, and he's kind of split the community. Like, he's definitely divided opinions on whether he is incredibly busted, or he's just a straight-up bust of a unit. And look, there are some talking points for why the character is very, very good, but there are also some talking points for why the character isn't so much. So first of all, let's head back over to his kit, and then we'll dive into some comments that you guys posted on this particular community post that I made a day ago. So first of all, let's take a quick look at his kit, and some things that I kind of glossed over, I might have missed when I actually read his kit. Like, I was just sort of like more in the hype that we had Saturn in the game, and I might have sort of glossed over some stuff. So he is a driven striker int character. He does have 99 cost. He is built up around cost of character. So if we head to his captain ability here, it says that, his special ability here, that if you have over 750 cost, you get an attack of 5 times multiplier. Now, if you're a new player, you might not even have 750 costs, which is a huge drawback to the character. Like, if you're level 170 something, I think Papi shared a screenshot where you only had like 400 costs. So immediately, you're not going to get this 5 times attack boost, which is just a huge drawback for new players coming to the game, for the mid-level player. It doesn't really grind pirate level, but at the same time, like, this does give incentive to grind pirate level. There are so many avenues to get lots and lots of EXP with EXP captains, boosted ships, boosted events. Like, you can get to level 500 so quick and so easy. So I don't think this is a huge drawback to the unit. It's just more like if you're just starting the game trying to figure out what's going on, you pull Saturn and you're like, holy crap, why does this unit suck? Look, this might be why. Another thing is, it says in his special, when 4 or more Elders, Celestial Dragons, or Navy characters are on the crew, you get a 2 times overheal to the HP. However, you don't actually get a heal. You don't actually get a heal. It just activates the ability to allow you to overheal, which is a bit strange, because if you don't heal at all, you're not going to go over your max HP threshold, which therefore will not actually trigger his EX Super. His EX Super will trigger if you have an attack boost of 8 times or more, and or if you're ignoring the HP limit. So if you use his special with the 4 characters of Navy, Celestial Dragons, or 5 Elders, you then can obviously get, you can actually get this ability to work. Where is it? I'm in captain ability, I'm in the wrong spot. You get this ability to work, but then you need to actually heal to get over that, so then you can activate the EX Super. So if you want to do all this in one turn, you have to bring another character that can actually heal. Now, that we might get that in the future, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't actually provide that himself. So he's not really self-sufficient in that sort of regard. But he obviously does have that massive attack boost. He can increase the orb boost up to 10 times, which I believe we'll probably see another Celestial Dragon give a massive 5 times orb boost, doing something similar to what Saturn does. He does a driven territory, which is really, really cool too. So he does have a lot of damage coming out of his kit, and he completely removes damage reduction as well, which is actually really, really nice. The downside to all of the damage output that he can provide is the fact that you need Elders, Celestial Dragons, and Navy characters. There really isn't a lot of int-driven striker characters that kind of fit the mold of the Navy tag that would work alongside him, nor do you have Celestial Dragons, or do you have the, what's it called? The 5 Elders. When we get those characters, like, obviously that's going to be a huge drawing point to the character. He's going to see a lot more play in the future. But I do understand people's points with saying that, well, I don't really want to summon for a character that could be very, very good down the line, rather than being a character that's actually really, really good right now, and then has the potential to still be good down the line. So I definitely see that side of things. I don't really like the fact that he's a driven striker. I just think having him as powerhouse striker, or powerhouse cerebral, would have been way better for the character. But at the same time, look, we can't really fault that. The big upside that he has is obviously this line here, where if you have an attack boost, use another attack boost, it stacks on top of itself. So say you have a 5 times attack boost with Saturn, then use a 4 times attack boost with Luffy, then you get the 9 times attack. But getting the 10 times attack is really only accessible with double Saturn. Like, you're not really ever going to see the 10 times attack with anything else. His rush condition, look, it's very easy to do because you just need driven characters on the team. But again, that sort of funnels you into using the Navy characters that are driven, rather than the Navy characters that are strikers or int. But I do believe that now that they've sort of set up this standpoint of driven territory and having 3 driven characters for the rush. I think that every single one of the Celestial Dragons, not Celestial Dragons, the 5 Elder Stars, they will all be Driven characters. His EX Super does have some good utility. Obviously, his Captain doesn't have any utility, so that's a bit of a drawback too. This guy's kind of built up just directly on power and is more of a Kazuna-centric endgame player sort of kit. So I don't rate him as highly as I would have first made him out to be. The lines where it says like you need and which one is it? I can't remember exactly which one it is. Yeah, here it is, this part here. When you need 4 or more 5 Elder Celestial Dragons or Navy characters on the crew, and your attack boost is 10 times or more. So this means you have to run double Saturn, as well as then having 2 other Navy characters, Celestial Dragons, or Elder Stars. And again, this will be easier down the line when we get more of the 5 Elders. Heading into the Egghead arc, we're going to see a lot of them. So if you guys are anime-only watchers, just be very excited for that. We will definitely see them down the line, but these are kind of characters that will be sort of big celebration characters, so it's a bit of an interesting one there too. And then this one here, I actually got it completely wrong. This character's attacks will target all enemies of all attributes weak points. So what I took this as is as a super effective against all types. What we now seem to believe this actually is that it's actually like a class affinity. So if you are, say, if the enemy's weak to slashes, for example, then you will, if you have the 4 Elders, Celestial Dragons, and Navy, and the 10 times attack, your Saturn, even though he's Driven Striker, will still have the advantageous typing against the slashes. So if you put up a Driven advantageous typing buff, it should still work for that extra damage. So bit of a weird one. With that particular line, I think just having super effective against all types would have just been way easier to process, but at the same time, that's what it is. On top of that, the 15 turns of cooldown at the start of the quest is really, really nice, but if we go back up here, he's on a 30 cooldown. So this literally just halves it, and then if you're on double Saturn, obviously you start with it, and you want to really run double Saturn with this guy to get like the full effectiveness out of him. But the fact that he's on 30 second cooldown, if you're not running him as a captain, or you're not running him as a sub with another Saturn, like you're not seeing this cooldown. Like it's just not feasible. So it, like, as we've had the character digest more, for me, I'm sitting on the fence in terms of I don't think he's busted, but at the same time, I definitely don't think he's a bust. I do think that he has a lot of good points, but I do understand that sort of waiting for his biggest prowess is going to be seen down the line. As for his Grand Party kit, something that I did gloss over to, or didn't give enough hype to, is the GP Burst. This ability to ignore defense ignoring damage for 20 seconds is so good in Grand Party, because this basically just nullifies all the gear vibes, on top of nullifying all the damage that you could receive from stuff like Strength Luffy, S-Hawk, Kuma, Mihawk, like all those characters that just bypass defensive effects. You can just bypass this by just having this up for your Psy, Int, Striker, and Driven characters. So very, very powerful stuff. The fact that his leader ability buffs Driven, which is one of the best teams in the game right now. You can easily throw him on an Int team. So you can do some fun stuff there. Even though he's like Int Striker sort of built, you can throw him on a Striker-based team and then sort of have that very Int-reliant. You have the Sword unit. You have this particular character. You have Smoker, who are all Int Strikers. So you can do some fun stuff there. But that's enough about my rambling. Let's see what you guys had to say about Saint Garcia Saturn. So we're going to head to the comments. I did put this up a day ago, so we haven't had a few comments, so hopefully we'll be able to go through all of them. It says, I don't like when a unit comes out and the kid basically says, just wait till other units will make this unit come out and he'll be crazy. Okay, I'll just wait until they are all out on next year's Super Suga. See, that's a very good point. Like, Matt says, like, that you could just skip this, and when all the other characters that sort of help him come out, then you could just easily summon for him then, when he's on the banner with those types of characters. We need to see Figlin Garland in Part 3. Should be a 99 cost Celestial Dragon. Yeah, so that's another thing. Like, if we get more Celestial Dragons, they're all going to be 99 cost. We have 3 in the game besides Saturn, who is coming, who are all 99 cost. I did make a short on them as well. They are available in the Rayleigh shop for 10 copies a piece. So there's a chance they get a level limit break, or they give them a 6+ and a level limit break, so they work with Saturn and become more of a Driven sort of centric kit. But yes, Garling has been shown in the anime. Young Figlin Garling, by the way. So interesting if we see him come for Part 3 of the celebration, or if we get any type of Celestial Dragon representation for the rest of the anniversary. That could easily increase the cost, and then, like I said, any other Celestial Dragon in the future is going to help them out. Or maybe they just give, if they just gave those what's it called? If they just gave those Celestial Dragons that are in the Rayleigh's Bazaar supports, even if they're stat supports, like the fact they're 99 cost will obviously help get you up to that that cost limit. I'll play devil's advocate here from Please Pass the Egg Salad. Love the name. I'll play devil's advocate here and say, while this is 100% true that he needs the rest of the elders to work, I'm kind of glad that they're not all coming out at once. I feel like getting 5 legends that all need all 5 to work optimally at once is a bit overwhelming, especially if you spend a good deal of gems for Kizaru. And hopefully, if the rest of the elders are trickled out at a later date, they will take my feedback and build them in regards to it, as well as making sure that they can be relevant for future content and not solely designed within a small event window. Yeah, look, this is a good point. The fact that you could then make all of the Elder Stars relevant in certain periods while still extending their longevity. It's not a bad point of view, so it's definitely not the worst. I won't say he's bad, but as an Annie unit, and as the first Gorosei, I was kind of expecting more. He's not for beginners. He doesn't have good synergy with anyone in the game. And I don't like when a Sugo comes out and says, yeah, just wait for other characters to come out. That's an easy skip. He does have synergy with some characters in the game. Like, he's definitely doesn't have no synergy at all. You could definitely run him. Like, you don't have to get the 10 times attack, by the way. Like if you want to run him perfectly in most scenarios, it is going to be very, very restrictive. But at the same time, you can definitely take him. Because, like, remember, he comes out as like a PKA unit, right? You definitely take him in with, say, like, Int Luffy from the 10th anniversary. You can run them alongside each other as they both buff Int, and then just have a 9 times attack boost, which is still fucking disgusting. So I don't think it's that he has good synergy. I just don't think he has like perfect synergy. I think that's a better way of saying it. What I just like about this is that they haven't given even given Kizaru enough Navy support, and then they're already moving to a Celestial Dragon tag. And with Kizaru's restriction with world government, we wouldn't have to worry about the clunkiness of the synergy. Yeah, look, I definitely agree. Kizaru definitely needs more Navy support, but he did get those free-to-play characters that does help him out a lot. The most Kazuna legend I've ever seen, the whole kit is based around high damage. Yes, I totally agree. Why didn't he come out on a Kazuna banner instead of end of month? Yep, agree. He should have just come out as this Kazuna banner. Would have made a lot more sense. He feels like he's missing a lot. No doubt that the other 4 elders will complete him, and Saturn's value as individual unit is lowered. It's like buying a game which you can't experience. Yeah, but look, at the same time, games do that nowadays. So many games will release like the game and then be like, oh, by the way, you're gonna have DLC in 2 years time, in a year's time. By the time the DLC comes out, I don't really want to fucking use it anymore. So as long as the character does obviously work with the other Elder Stars, which they definitely will, I can't see this being a huge problem, but I definitely agree with the statement that that is shit. Like I don't like when they're doing actual like games and shit, but like let alone here. Here we go, some good points here. The unit is not accessible for beginner players. It's probably a unit with the most absurd requirements in this Anisugo. No Gorosei units are even available, and Celestial Dragons will complement him. 750 costs, like, come on, what the hell? Yeah, look, it's a steep cost. But again, you then get a whole team of Celestial Dragons. Like, you're easily copying that cost. But again, that does go down to the premise of, well, hey, we have to wait. Needs Navy Celestial Elders, 55 to 65 cost for each crew member and support. Yeah, so yeah, very, very restrictive. This unit isn't good free to play help. So again, this is just like the Celestial Dragons getting a level limit break R6 plus. Definitely could be the free to play help they need. Not a fan of the cost mechanic. Definitely agree. As well as needing 5 specific character batch. Reminds me of the Germa batches. Yeah, the Germa batches, whilst were very good on release and were very, very strong, it was obviously like, if you didn't have all of them, then you were kind of struggling. Plus, you could then move on to stronger teams. Vegapunk would be a cool idea, but it took too long to get all of them. Again, yeah, I totally agree with that. The Vegapunk thing was a bit of a problem. I wonder why they'll handle this guy, since he's both out like this and becomes even more out later when he has to try hard. That'd be a new unit. Yeah, he has to go like balls to the wall, so they could easily just do another version of this particular character. Requirements are too difficult to achieve full potential. I think that's a better way of saying it. Like, to get the full potential, it's very, very challenging. It's not that he's unrunnable. The cost thing will be a problem. Gives me vibes like Int Kaido, who was met at first, didn't see us play initially, and then got better with the release of the lead performance. That's actually a really good point. When you look at Int Kaido, and then you had Alba, Queen, and Jack come out later down the line, who all had abilities that just couldn't be removed by his shit. Like, that could be some crazy stuff. Garling adds part 3 could definitely help the character, but again, we're still waiting for part 3, and all those crazy abilities aren't exactly like shown. When I read this post, I was even disappointed, but then I watched your video. This guy's OP as he should, and he can only get better. Insane cap and support, insane special, insane DPS. He'll age like fine line. I definitely agree that he will age like fine line. Like, I definitely think that right now he's definitely not going to be at the pinnacle of his powers, but as time goes on and we get more and more of these characters, he's definitely just going to age more and more, and you're definitely not going to want to miss out on this guy. Like, if they just start throwing out Celestial Dragons as end of month batches, and you start picking them up on tickets and stuff like that, then like this is going to be a bit of a problem if people do skip him. The guys guys, the old 3 Celestial Dragons in the race shop, 10 copies each, probably good units. Yep, so he's just mentioning the same thing I said there. No, I'd skip. Definitely understandable. Remember, it's an end of month batch, so you do lose a lot of value, like in terms of not being a high treasure map point booster or good on Kazuna as well. So I do understand why people are skipping. You give some other characters some love. Okay, here we go. We got Sheppo, my boy. The guy looks busted on the first view, but once you take a look closer, you'll see that there are all drawbacks to the units. The special in PvE is decent utility, not super good though. Poison is rare and usually easy to remove with support. 100% agree. Damage-wise, obviously OP special with high potential, but in reality, we're usually getting a 4 or 4.25 times attack boost. So nothing too crazy. 1.5 times increase on orbs is really good. Overheal part, as of now, you'll probably never get that. Again, as I mentioned, you don't actually get the healing factor. Like, it just triggers for one turn and you actually need to heal. No util in the captain is a letdown. Crazy damage potential, but will not get this as a character's attack target all enemies at weak points easily as of now. The EX, pretty much the only usable with double Saturn captain. Again, you need the 8 times attack boost. Again, it would be great if you healed. Totally agree with that particular point. Damn, Sheppo's gone to the balls to the wall. Well done. Honestly, nothing too crazy, mediocre. Pretty much suited for a strike team, which is bad at the moment. Again, definitely agree, but it's good to see that there is some support for that particular team. The burst seems very good at first, but if you think about your usual GP matches, you will see one major puzzle. You usually can't predict 100% when the CP enemy uses his burst. Of course, CPU always uses his burst at the second fight, right at the start. If you've lost the first fight, problem is that you won't be able to use the burst first. So that's a good point. You definitely don't exactly know when that's going to happen, but at the same time, if you're down to the last 30 seconds of a fight and the enemy has their burst, and you're like, shit, the only way I can lose right now is if the enemy uses a burst, like, that's a perfect time to use that. So whilst I agree it's super cracked to be able to block those types of things, it does have drawbacks as well. So that's a very good point as well. Like, you can't really predict the CPU. So I'm kind of happy that it looks rather shit, so that way I'm only pulling on Nami. Yeah, look, it definitely makes Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and then Nami look like a lot better. So if you guys are still looking to summon, I would definitely summon over there. Strong int-driven Uta feeling. Yep, that's fair. Really bad downside, it's just hard to get really specific. Yeah, look, it'll be interesting to see what's going on there. It's sad that the synergy between the 10th enemy Luffy and Saturn is not that great compared to Shanks with Ace, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Kizaru. Yeah, look, I don't think it's not that it's not they don't synergize. It's just that they don't perfectly synergize like the other characters do. I already expected Saturn to be unplayable on release. Well, you called it there, Butter. Well done. I see free-to-play players. There's no point to pull him. Wait for the rest of the elders to drop and then go from there. So that's a really good point. Like, you just wait for the rest of the elders to come out and then just go for him then, especially if you're a newer player. So that's Saturn in a nutshell. Again, I don't think he's like anything too crazy. I still think he's quite strong. I think as like the more and more we get to know him, the more we get to we learn about him, the weak he gets. For me at the moment, he's sitting somewhere between a 6.5 to a 7. I probably lean more towards 7. I did have him like at an 8 about 2 days ago, but like as time goes on, we just keep seeing more and more drawbacks to the characters. And we start understanding a little bit more and more and more. So for me, I have him at a 7 right now, but let me know in the comment section below what you guys rate Saturn as an overall unit. And let me know if you'll be summoning, if you guys are summoning for this particular character too. But like button, hit subscribe and do all the good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.